桐生さん、それではその人物の名前を教えてください。6年前小田さんを殺し明智さんに罪をかぶせた事件の真犯人とは一体。
犯人はお前だ。木下優子、お前が小田を殺した真犯人だ。
Are you serious? I can't believe it! What? Yuko killed Oda. An interesting theory. But why would I kill Mr. Oda? I didn't have any reason to do anything like that. Yeah, Yuichi Akiji's motive was Usami's relationship with Oda. Exactly how are Yuko and Oda connected? Oda was dating somebody at the time of the murder. Somebody who used to work as a waitress at Cafe Alps. What? Is that true? Yes, and her last name was Saito. Saito? That's Yuko's maiden name. I hear you worked at this cafe until just before the time of the murder. Yuko and Oda-san dated? I didn't know that. Yuko, is that true? I don't have to answer that. Yuko? If Oda was dating Yuko, then Usami wasn't the only one cheating. Oda was cheating too! And that means Yuko also had a motive to kill Oda. So anyone with a motive is a killer? You haven't done anything but hypothesize. Exactly. We've only talked about possibilities. But do you have any conclusive evidence that she committed the murder? This is the evidence. Is that my business card? This business card has your fingerprints on it. We should be able to compare the prints on this card to the ones on the murder weapon. Cool. Give me that business card. Let's check it out right now. We finished analyzing the prints on the card. These are Yuko Kinoshita's prints. And these are the prints on the ashtray. Oh, there! The prints on Yuko's business card are the same as the ones on the murder weapon. I don't believe it. How do you explain that? Even if my prints are on that ashtray, so what? Why does that change anything? What do you mean? I ate the Alps on the day of the murder. I must have touched the ashtray while I was here. She's right. If she was here as a customer, there's nothing criminal about touching an ashtray, right? No, you're lying. What? There's no record of you coming to the cafe on the day of the murder. Right, Detective Maeda? He's right. We had Cafe Alps employees watch all the security tapes. And they gave statements that no other cafe employees, former or otherwise, visited the cafe that day. Right? Kinoshita-san? That's right. I've seen Yuko's face before, so I would have noticed if she was on those tapes. She definitely wasn't. Which means you didn't come to Cafe Alps on the day of the murder as a customer. So why were your fingerprints on the ashtray then? Fine, maybe it wasn't on the day of the murder. It might have been on the day before. It's not that big of an issue. No, you've had to have been here the day of the murder. But not as a customer. As the real murderer. Huh? The only people who could have prints on the murder weapon were those who visited the day of the murder. How do you come to that conclusion? The ashtrays here were washed clean every day, and your prints were still on the murder weapon ashtray. That means you had been here on the day of the murder. The ashtray had been dropped on the floor and chipped by a customer on the day of the murder. Yuichi Akechi saw the chip, and instead of washing the ashtray, decided to throw it out. Since you couldn't have come to the cafe as a customer that day, there's only one time you could have left your prints on the ashtray. And that time is after Akechi dropped the ashtray in the locker room when he witnessed Usami cheating with Oda. Sometime after Akechi left, and before Kinoshita came to check up on him, you entered the locker room and murdered Oda. Then you put on Imagawa's uniform and left through the rear door. Am I wrong? Yuko, was what Kazuma says true? It'll only get worse if you stay silent.
Shut up! I told you I didn't do it!
I give up! Yuko, I'm putting an end to this.
What?
Do you know something, Kinoshita-san? I knew you came to the cafe that day, Yuko.
What? How?
Your scent. It was very faint, but I could still smell the perfume you always wear there at the crime scene.
What?
Why didn't you say this earlier? I'd been infatuated with Yuko ever since our time at working at Alps together. That's why I knew the scent of her perfume the minute I smelled it. Sometime after the murder, I happened to run into her again. Eventually, we started dating. One day, we brought up the subject of the murder, and the expression on her face just changed, and she started giving me evasive answers. That's when I was sure Yuko had been here on the day of the crime. Well, I'll be. Well, I still didn't know exactly what that meant. Or I should say, I didn't want to know what that meant. When I found out that Kiryu-san was looking into that old crime, I decided to keep it all a secret. But now Yuichi Akechi has suffered 6 years for a crime he didn't commit. All because I didn't say anything. It's all my fault. If I'd just spoken up, none of this would have happened.
Gee, Kinoshita-san.
さあ、もう言い逃れはできないぜ。
優子さん、今一度尋ねます。あなたが小田さんを殺したんですか？
そうよ。私がやったのよ。
Will you give a statement that Yuichi Akechi is innocent?
Yes, it was me. Akechi-san had nothing to do with the murder.
Yuko, how could you have done such a thing? Was it really just because Oda was cheating?
Of course, that's what it was all about. He even promised to marry me.
Aの日は彼の小田さんの誕生日だった。だから私は彼を驚かそうと思ってプレゼントを持ってお店に向かったの。もうお店も閉まっている時刻だったから裏口から入ってロッカールームに向かったわ。でもそこで見たの他の女と浮気してる彼の姿だった。私はとっさに身を引いて隠れた。落ち着いて目の前で何が起きているのか理解しようと努めたわ。そのすぐ後に明智さんがやってきた。明智さんはロッカールームの中を覗いて小田さんと宇佐美さんの浮気現場を目撃すると手に持っていた灰皿を落とし小田さんに掴みかかっていったわ。言い争うような声が聞こえた後すぐに宇佐美さんがロッカールームから出てきて裏口から店の外へ出て行ったわ。すぐに明智さんも宇佐美さんの後を追って店の外へ出て行ってしまった。明智さんと宇佐美さんが出て行った後私はロッカールームの中へ入っていった。小田さんは私の姿を見てすごいびっくりしたみたいだったけど浮気がバレたことが分かると 開き直って別れ話を切り出してきたわ。宇佐美と一緒になるつもりだから別れてくれって。その言葉を聞いた途端、完全に頭に血が上っちゃって、気がついたら近くに落ちてた灰皿で小田さんを殴っていたわ。それからは桐生さんが言った通りよ。私はロッカーにあった制服に着替えて、わざと裏口の前で誰かが来るのを待っていた。少しして誰かが客席の方からやってきたから、顔を見られないようにして裏口から出ていった。それで部外者の自分には絶対に疑いがかからないだろうって思ったわ。
Several years passed. I ran into Kinoshita and we eventually got married. I started selling things as a hobby, and soon it turned into a business. Before I knew it, it grew into a large company. It's been 6 years since that day, and my life's been going so well. I can't believe the truth came out now of all times.
Did you ever think what it felt like for Akichi to bear those false charges? What it felt like to be knocked down to rock bottom and have his freedom stolen from him these past 6 years? And think what would have happened if we hadn't revealed the truth just now. How many more years would Akichi would have suffered? Only the person who took away Akichi's freedom can give it back. You need to turn yourself in. Testify in front of a court and pay for your crimes. Can I escort you to the station?
Yes.
Yuko, I'll be right here waiting for you when you get back.
Masaru. Thank you.
Extra, extra! The real criminal behind the 6-year-old Kamoto murder turns himself in. The man originally accused of the crime now stands to be acquitted in a new trial.
I was wrong about the media. I thought you just went from one person to the next looking for gossip. I didn't think you cared about the people in your articles. I figured you just forgot about them the second they left your pages. But you've been worrying about my brother this whole time. He even proved his innocence. There are decent people in the media. I really want to thank you.
Nozumi.
I also apologize for the way I treated you. I want to give you a reward for helping me get to retrial for my brother.
You don't know me anything. I'm sorry to say it, but I didn't do anything on this one. Proving your brother's innocence was all the work of Kazuma here. I certainly don't deserve to accept any reward from you. What are you talking about? You did what a real journalist is supposed to do, right?
What do you mean?
Sure, you wrote an article pointing to Akichi as the murderer years ago, but now you've written an article clearing his name. Isn't that the way a real journalist is supposed to resolve things? I guess you're right, but I won't let this be the end of it. I'll continue to follow the truth until the day I put down my pen. That's my duty as a reporter.
And I'll be cheering you on.
I'm sorry guys if I stayed silent for all that. Oh, and I faked you out, because this is not the last cutscene-laced side mission. There's one more, but it's in Okinawa. So keep an eye out for that. And thanks for watching the whole A Murder at Cafe Alps. I really hope you enjoyed it. So take care everyone, and remember, life's good.